Back live tonight here on In Focus. The South African Communist Party in the Free State disagrees with steps taken by the ANC Secretary General Fikile Mbalula, calling on the immediate suspension of Kopanong local municipality Mayor Xolani Tseletsele. The call follows a viral video showing Tseletsele daring a community member to escalate an issue of potholes to his seniors. The provincial SACP says Mbalula's call for an immediate suspension of the mayor's membership is grossly harsh and preemptive, and instead recommends for Luthuli House to wait for outcomes of a hearing. For more on this conversation, we are now joined by Free State SACP Secretary Bheke Stofile. Good to have you, Dr. Stofile, and thank you very much for your time. From what I'm reading here, the SG of the ANC saying that gone are the days of Asinavalo. We must have fear of our people, even if they swear at us, show their anger at us. It says the mayor will now be suspended and will then face disciplinary processes and be subjected to the ANC's Integrity Committee. What are you finding fault with that?
No, it's a lot of faulty on that. And it's very surprising if that is said by the ANC, and the ANC that over many years, since its establishment, it has been fighting for just and fair processes, and then it has been arguing that you can't find an individual guilty without due processes, and it is important that any person to be subjected to that. And that is why in South Africa, when the ANC and its alliance have been leading the struggle for freedom, many of our comrades and leaders died because of a smear campaign, and which at a later stage, and you can see it in the TRC, found that what they were alleged about, it was found to be untrue. and thereby, that is why the ANC argued over years, working with its alliance partners in South Africa, for a principle of innocency until proven guilty. And within that principle, they address the issue pertaining to proper investigation and judgment on the basis of the alleged conduct of an individual. And to me, if you then just wake up today and issue a letter because I've read in the social media about this or that, there will be no difference of what happened during apartheid period in South Africa. It is important that we respect that principle, and that is our view.
Have you had a look at this so-called video, and what is your analysis of the video? The Secretary General saying the mayor's actions are despicable and require tough action, hence the kind of action that they would have taken.
It's a good comment, because the comment is about instilling discipline. But it will be important not to judge people and prejudge people. For instance, in South Africa, we are reading many things. For instance, in the social media, there have been an issue about the Secretary General softening 500 million. Is that true? And it can't be correct that on the basis of what we read in the social media and what is circulated, because we are operating in the political environment. And ANC should have been advanced on this issue, because it has been leading the struggle to liberate people of South Africa. That in the process, because remember, communities by itself contest processes and elections for selfish ends, for the interest of them to drive a particular program. So as ANC, we expect that, knowing those politics, because they are not fundy in the politics, because they know they have been integral part of the struggle of South Africa, and they knew why they struggle for innocency until proven guilty. We are saying dangers of these statements and comments on what we read in the social media. You are then saying to us as South Africans, if so and so is accused, for instance, there are many people that are accused in social media today, should we then say on the basis of the public opinion that is correct? Or should we then stick to what we have struggled for, that the individual must be given an opportunity to explain himself or herself about what is alleged to have happened.
Yeah. So Stofile, let's just stay with that. Are you saying that from the SACP there is an explanation? Because this is not something that is being read on social media. This is a video where the mayor himself is in the video. In fact, the mayor himself has apologized for his conduct in that video. Are you saying there is a better explanation?
And the guy that is accusing the mayor has apologizing for insulting the mayor's mother.
And you're saying that would have been a justifiable action then on the part of a mayor?
I'm saying it is important before you arrive to a judgment to have all the facts before you. And on the basis of the judgment that you are going to make, it should be informed on the gathering of the facts that you have gathered in the process of investigation. Don't judge individuals on the basis of what we read and what we see. Remember, my brother, I've got a right in the social media to circulate whatever that I want to circulate.
Yeah.
And the reality of the matter is that if this is not connected with any other developments in South Africa, how could this thing happen in the 3 weeks ago and only circulated now? And action is only thought about it today.
I'm going to come to that in a moment. I wanted to find out from you. I mean, if you're saying that you can post whatever you want, is your right. Does the ANC have a right, as per its constitution, to want to protect its reputation against being gravely violated by its members? The ANC is saying, taking the ANC constitution into consideration, the Secretary General conveyed the following message to the Free State Provincial Secretary. Immediate action has to be taken against the mayor. The actions of the mayor over the past week pose a threat to the well-being of a private citizen in his private home. This action gravely violates the constitutional obligation of ANC public representatives and goes against the values of the Renewal Project.
The problem is that you deal with the public representative. The ANC is in the process of renewing itself. Part of renewing is the restoration of the principles that the ANC stood for many years. And part of those principles is that you can't judge an individual without conducting a proper diagnosis of the facts before you. What is wrong on this? It's nothing wrong for the Secretary General or any leader of the ANC trying to quell on the incorrect and wrong things that are happening. But you can't then say you are immediately suspended. Suspended, do you have facts about this? Or you are reading only what you are reading on the news, and you are only going to say, oh gosh, I should have not taken this decision in this way. Now the facts begin to tell me the honest truth of what has transpired.
Yeah.
Because all of us were not there. It's only the mayor, Tseletsele, that was there, and the person and the families that were involved in that area. Now, as an organization that has a history of credibility, avoiding accusation, and many people hanged in South Africa for wrongful accusation, and fought for a fairness in the process. These are the basic tenets of the ANC struggle over many years.
Yeah. One can argue then to say that there is no justification for a mayor to threaten a family or even the children of that individual. A mayor is a creature of state. He is a man of authority. If he felt insulted, he must go open a case and have that individual arrested.
So your problem is to say there is no reason for a mayor. There's no reason in South Africa to disrespect other individuals' rights, as is enshrined in the Constitution. Everyone in South Africa had to understand that all of us have rights, but our rights are as long as our nose. And anything that is beyond our nose is no longer our rights. So in the process of these developments, it's important to also educate ourselves that it doesn't mean you have a right to take chance of being a public representative because you want to prove a particular political point. And then you conduct yourself in a manner that is not within the spirit of the Constitution of the Republic. So everyone, has been a struggle of the ANC over time, that people must be respected irrespective of where they belong in the ladder.
And therefore, hence, I'm saying that equally so, you would then say a public representative of the stature of a mayor should certainly know that, and if he feels his rights are violated, the best way of acting is not to threaten a citizen, but to certainly use the legal avenues that are available to a person of a mayor. He's not a man who's not without power.
No, the power that you're talking about is a very narrow power in the local state. Remember, state in South Africa is categorized into three. But let me deal with the issue that you're talking about. Any person, any South African has a responsibility to respect the other one, even if you disagree with the opinion or view expressed by that person. You don't have a legal right to violate his right. Everybody. And therefore, it becomes more important to public office bearers in the local state or any other level of state, at least to show that level of maturity. And I think on that we accept that probably confronting the person, it was not a correct thing. But confronting the person within the context of what you happen to be angry. Unfortunately yourself, you are living in South Africa and there are many things that makes you angry every time. And when the anger arrives at you, you don't control yourself. Now what you need to do, you need to be taken to anger management so that you are developed, because it is important to identify that weakness and treat that weakness, because it's important as an investment to a person that happened to be given a responsibility.
Yeah. That is Stofile, are you saying when I'm angry at you right now, I have a right to come to your house and threaten you in front of your kids because I'm angry? And so my anger can be expressed anyhow because I'm angry in that moment.
I think that question, it should be answered. Why councillors are killed? It's because thugs and individuals that happen to camouflage as members of society who wants to drive a particular political agenda and tender processes and contraction mafia, they go to people and kill them. It's not because they are angry that the tender was not given to them. So the issue of anger is a matter that it is so important that for us to understand how do we then treat it and deal with it. For instance, in this case of Tseletsele, driven by anger, which even yourself, even if you don't want to tell the truth, anyone insult you with your mother that brought you on earth, it will make you angry. And irrespective of a position that you occupy. And there are many people that in the Republic, in senior position of government or public servant, they can't accept that. Now, when that anger arrives at you, those that are given a responsibility of leadership, they must identify that as a weakness and use that weakness to empower you to manage the anger. That is why there is a program called anger management.
That's right.
Yes.
Does it not serve the people of Kopanong better then to have a leader who can't manage his anger be suspended while he goes and deals with his anger? One, not only was he angry, as a mayor you would know that you don't go into someone's private property. It's trespassing. That's breaking the law. We've got an individual who not only couldn't manage his anger, but he went on to break the law. Doesn't it serve the people of Kopanong better that that man be placed on suspension and taken to deal with his anger?
Wouldn't that decision be judgmental? Because if you read the statutes of our Republic, Criminal Procedure Act, you can't be sentenced to jail without proper investigation. Why investigation? Is because you don't want to give a judgment that is incorrect. And this is the struggle that the ANC struggled for many years. And that is why the amendment in the many laws of the Republic, including Criminal Procedure Act. So the issue here that you must not run away from it is that, yes, the incident happened. Then when the incident happened, avoid to throw yourself into the mud as leadership. Stay back and look into the issue and say, what might have gone wrong here? Conduct the investigation so that the person, because remember, in the theory of discipline tells you that discipline is a corrective measure. Now, here is a person committed what he has committed, and then you immediately suspend him. Did he understand what he has committed?
According to the ANC, this is what he has committed, citing Rule 25.5, subsection A. The provincial structure may convey the decision of a temporary suspension to the member telephonically. The party has directed through its structures that the mayor must be recalled immediately and subjected to disciplinary process for the unbecoming conduct. That's what is being charged with.
And that is exactly the issue that we disagree with, because we are saying in that process, you then impose a penalty without having all relevant facts and be processed.
So you are saying the suspension is a penalty. In labor relations, you can be suspended while you are being investigated, and once you're cleared, you're reinstated.
The suspension, by its design, in the general human resources practice anywhere in the world, is a contribution that gives a particular sentence that you must understand how serious the matter is. And then you place to suspension for a processes that the organization, it must follow. Here, what is wrong? What is wrong? You want to see it or you don't want to see it. If the constitution of the ANC section Rule 25 says what you have read, does it then mean processes such as suspending the membership of a member that is purported to have committed crime, suspending that and recalling that person is not gravitating towards a penalty? And in my argument is that that is a penalty, because when you have concluded investigation and you find facts and say for hypothetical reasons you found him guilty, and there are no any factors that can be secured, then you recall him. Already you have recalled him when you suspended him. Is that not a penalty? And we are saying some of the terms and words that you are using, it is important to be consistent with what we stood for over years, as we are struggling to create a responsible community, a responsible society, but leaders that are appointed and given a responsibility to lead, to act with ethical principles and with the standards of the office that they occupy. In the event that we investigate and found that as a weakness, it is a cause for action that to subject that person to correct the behavior.
So are you merely questioning the process that the SG of the ANC would have taken, or are you questioning the intention of why he would have taken that decision?
It's both. Why would not then immediately suspend a person when there is something in the news that somebody comes forward and say, I've taken or softened money to him? Why you are not suspending? Because you understand that the principle of fairness, just, and the process of bringing together facts, which it must empower you then to take a decision on the basis of the facts that you have gathered. And that is the correct approach.
So what would have been the...
in any disciplinary matter.
What are you suspecting other intentions, because others have said, well, this is because in fact, the mayor himself says he's suspended because they don't want him to be an MEC.
No, look, I don't want to enter into those politics because the Youth League itself, just, I think, during the day or yesterday, it uttered those words. Is it correct? Is it false? We don't know, because he says part of their decision was that the chairperson of the ANC Youth League must then become part of the executive council of the province. So I don't want to enter into those politics. What I'm interested on is that principles mustn't be on the basis of the length that we are using. Principles of discipline, it must be on the basis of the processes that you follow that informs you that an appropriate decision on this matter is the following. I'm saying, what you do on the left, you must do it on the right. Because it is the ANC and its alliance in the Republic of South Africa that fought for equity, just, and individuals to be treated with fairness in whatever that they face in the course of their action.
So what action are you then going to be taking as the SACP in engaging your alliance partners on this matter?
I'm not talking about what action we are going to take, because when we read this on social media, on Twitter and other platforms, we immediately engage and call the chairperson of the ANC in the Free State and say, but what is this? Because we don't understand it. And it has never been in the body politics of the movement. And can it be explained to us? And I've called the provincial secretary of the ANC, and which I spoke to him in this morning, because yesterday he was busy in other meetings. The issue here, my brother, is that it's nothing wrong for ANC to instill discipline. It's nothing wrong for ANC to quell on incorrect behavior. But it's many things wrong for ANC not to follow processes, because we will be no difference of the apartheid period. That a person is black by its color, is a criminal, and therefore he must be then judged and be hanged. We cannot do that. And we struggled for these principles, that we must be treated fairly, facts before us, and those that have power to take decision, use those facts and take such decisions.
So I can tell you now that we wanted the provincial ANC to be a part of this conversation, but their answer to us was, well, now this matter has been escalated to national, and therefore it's no longer in their hands. Don't know whether that would have been an excuse that they are giving us, or indeed this is how structures within the ANC would want to operate. With that information as the SACP in the Free State, will you then be escalating the matter to your national structure to engage the ANC's national structure at that level?
The party everywhere in every province has a responsibility to engage the structures in the province. It is our responsibility to engage the ANC in the Free State and express our views. It is the ANC responsibility to share our views with their national leadership. It is not our business as a province to interact with the national office of the ANC in COSATU. It is our business to interact with the ANC on our level, so that we together discuss the matters, because any matter, it has far-reaching implications to us in the Free State. And any matter, I mean, for instance, in the recent past, it was Communist Party in the Free State that chose to contest Metsimaholo. It was not a national office of the party. It was Communist Party in the Free State, and notify and engage the Central Committee of the party about that. And it was the Central Committee of the party that engaged President Zuma and the leadership of the time. So each province has a responsibility. So I wouldn't know why they are not part of the conversation, but I'm certain if you then talk to the secretary of the ANC in the province, because that's how dialectical we relate together. We are not relating because it's happy when we are happy. We relate even if we are fighting over any matter. And that is why each one of us, when finds anything that do not make sense to them, confront the situation as it is at our level and work towards finding solution on the matter that has been brought by either party on the table.
Yeah. What are those implications you're saying this kind of action would have on your party?
Look, let me first by saying it is the commitment of the Communist Party in the Free State, of course guided by the General Secretary of the party and the entire Central Committee, that it is our work to make sure that we contribute in building responsive government that renders service to our communities with respect, a government that it at all material times take into its heart the interest of our communities. At the same time, in this process, to contribute in rebuilding the African National Congress as an instrument of transformation in South Africa, building strong structures of the ANC and the Communist Party and COSATU, SANCO in the province, so that these alliance components can together deal with any challenge that is posed to their leadership at the time of our leadership. And this is our commitment and this is our view, and this view, it has been shared with the African National Congress leadership, and fortunately, there are certain areas of agreement, there are certain areas of disagreement. Right. In fact, we are not the one, we are the communists. They are the nationalist organization, and they are responsible to govern in the republic. We are together working with them in dealing with challenges of governance going into the future.
Provincial Secretary, I appreciate your time. Thank you very much for coming on. Bheke Stofile there, Provincial Secretary of the South African Communist Party in the Free State.